Ralph, get back. Hey! Hey! Ah!
In the wild, danger doesn't always come from what you expect. From a hunter nearly being shot by mistake to a bear charging with no warning to something unknown moving through the trees at night. These moments happen fast and leave no time to think. When everything shifts in seconds, how do you know what's a mistake and what's already life-threatening? This video takes place in the wilds of British Columbia, where experienced hunter Ralph joined Trophy West for what he believed would be a routine trip. While moving through the forest searching for game, he was suddenly faced with a charging black bear, turning the moment dangerously real.
Ralph, get back. Out of my way. Hey.
Just as impact seemed unavoidable, the bear suddenly stopped and backed away, as if recognizing the situation wasn't in its favor. Some say it was pure instinct, while others think it showed surprising awareness, leaving the question of why the bear changed course still open to debate. This next video takes place in the wild swamps, where massive hippos dominate the waters. Two hunters entered the area aware of the risks, but a huge hippo suddenly charged from the murky terrain, leaving them almost no time to react.
What? Wait!
With the animal closing in rapidly, they fired at the last moment and brought it down. Some credit their quick reactions, while others point to the sheer unpredictability of hippos, raising the question of how anyone can truly prepare for an attack like this. A homeowner deep in the woods set up a camera to observe wildlife, but instead captured a faint, fast-moving figure. When slowed down, it clearly appeared human, yet no one should have been in that remote area so late at night. Whether it was a person, a ghost, or even a cryptid remains uncertain, leaving viewers wondering what truly moved through those woods. In the rugged landscape of Arizona, outdoorsman Jay Scott set out on an elk hunt that quickly became unforgettable. While moving through the wilderness, he suddenly came face to face with a massive bull elk that bugled at extremely close range, nearly stepping over him as it passed. The sheer strength and size of the animal left him stunned, a reminder of both the beauty and danger of encountering wildlife up close, and raising the question of how anyone stays calm when a creature of that scale is only inches away. While hunting coyotes, these hunters were caught off guard when a bobcat suddenly appeared, leading to a brief but tense standoff between man and wild. After a moment, the bobcat calmly backed away, leaving them with an unforgettable encounter and a deeper respect for the wilderness, along with the question of what other unexpected moments nature might reveal. Roderick and his friend were out turkey hunting, following a routine they had done many times before. The woods stayed quiet as they sat camouflaged among the trees until a sudden gunshot shattered the silence. Roderick felt a sharp impact. and quickly realized he had been shot. Another hunter, unable to clearly identify his target, had mistaken Roderick's camo for a turkey and fired. The shot hit his leg instead of a vital area, and he later recovered, but the close call was sobering. One careless mistake had nearly taken his life. Thomas and his dad had spent nearly 10 days deep in the Alaskan backcountry, hiking, camping, and hunting moose across rugged terrain. Most of the trip had remained calm, but Alaska rarely stays predictable for long. Moving through tall grass with rifles ready, they stayed alert, aware that bears can appear without warning. Then the brush suddenly burst open.
Here he comes. Bear. Shoot him again. Son of a bitch. Holy shit. Good thing you had me ready, young man.
Yeah, well,
He's dead.
he's still alive.
Oh, the first one I drilled him right in the center of the chest.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, damn.
How'd you like your bow for that one?
Yeah, that would not have been cool. Nice shooting.
Well, you gotta have your shit together. Pardon my language.
That is a prime example of why when you pick a hunting partner, especially in Alaska, you pick someone who is very competent, both behind the rifle and calm. Because if you get somebody in a panic with something like that, especially like we only got one bear gun with us.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring my 223.
Well, and you notice way in, we're talking about being ready for that scenario, right? So coming on a kill in this tall grass, you had to be ready for that scenario. So the scope was already dialed down to 3. There's already one up the pipe. We're ready for this kind of a problem, right? And you hope not to have these kind of problems, but inevitably you do.
Well, and the other thing I could say is you ought to have 2 rifles, because there's stories of this happening, guides and clients, and one gun goes click and doesn't go off for whatever reason. And in that situation, we'd have been in trouble.
A bear charged straight at them at full speed, giving them only seconds to react. Instinct took over. They fired to stop it before it reached them. The bear dropped just a few feet away, leaving both men shaken by how close the encounter had been. In the wilderness, the shift from quiet hunting to life or death survival can happen in an instant. Rasmus was out hunting when he picked up the trail of an injured boar, expecting a routine track and recovery. But the situation changed quickly. His dog suddenly broke into frantic barking. The boar was close. Rasmus and his hunting partner stayed back with their weapons ready, watching the brush move as tension built fast.
Hey! Hey! Ah!
Ikra. Vad glad jag tror jag på benet. Helvete grej. Ja. Grisjäveln kommer för fan. Jävlar. Vänta. Vänta lite. Vad jag gissar.
Then, without warning, the boar burst from the bushes and charged straight at them. Rasmus was hit and knocked off balance, injured but still able to retreat with his partner. They escaped, shaken but alive, left with a harsh reminder of how quickly a hunt can turn life-threatening. A hunter was walking through the woods with his dogs on a routine outing when a bear suddenly charged out of nowhere. He raised his gun but froze the moment he noticed 3 cubs close behind her. Instead of firing, he held his position.
Петрович, медведь с 3 пистунами. Стрелять не стал, отхожу.
The bear pulled back, then rushed forward again before something caused her to turn away instead of making contact. She gathered her cubs and moved back into the trees. Even without an attack, a full-speed charge from a bear that size is enough to shake anyone, armed or not. On January 21st, 2020 on the channel. Trailing the hunter's moon hunter, Blake Barnett faced a life-threatening situation when a black bear charged after several attempts to scare it off failed.
And when we got up to move away from the bears, that's our movement. As soon as he saw us, his behavior and demeanor had changed. This bear just looked at us different. And we started to back out. Aaron wolfed at him and kicked dirt at him and threw his arms up in the air. This bear squared up.
As soon as the bear noticed their movement, its behavior changed completely, holding its ground with clear signs of aggression. With no time left and no way to retreat, Blake made a split-second decision to fire to protect himself, his guide, and his cameraman. Some see this as an unavoidable act of self-defense, raising a final question when a charge happens. This fast, is there ever a safer alternative? In 2023, a hunter said he was followed for hours by a strange humanoid figure moving through the shadows near his home. He described repeated encounters with something he believed wasn't human, suggesting it might be a cryptid, possibly Sasquatch or something even more unfamiliar. As the figure seemed to stay nearby night after night, he tried to confront it, hoping to drive it off and capture evidence.
They're all over the damn place again tonight. Okay, I'm gonna keep walking towards it. Might actually get to capture something here. Son of a... Alright, whatever you are, you need to leave. Stay out of this place. This is our home. This is our home. You need to leave. You leave now. I don't think it's going to come around for a little bit. I think that'll keep it away for a while. Oh, God. I hope that does it. I really do.
Some think fear played a role, while others believe it was something unexplained. So, was it misidentified or truly something unknown in the dark? On October 17th, 2020, a routine moose hunt in Finland became terrifying when the family's youngest daughter went into the field with a relative. What followed was an unexpected incident. None of them could have foreseen, raising one question: how quickly can a familiar tradition become dangerous? On January 23, 2024, a hunter heard a pileated woodpecker sounding its alarm call, a signal that a predator was nearby. Moments later, strange and unfamiliar noises echoed through the woods, prompting him to begin recording.
I heard some shit there.
He said the sounds didn't match any animal he recognized, describing them as sharp and deeply unsettling. Some suspect wildlife while others aren't convinced. So, what was really out there? Around 5 years ago, a hunter in Switzerland captured eerie screams echoing through a forest that, according to locals, had been free of foxes since a mysterious event years earlier. The sounds heard around midnight were high-pitched, sharp, and disturbingly similar to children crying, unlike any wildlife known to live there. In a separate case, someone staying in the nearly abandoned mountain village of Hatoji near Okayama, Japan, reported deep roars and piercing screeches coming from the surrounding forest shortly after sunset, continuing through the night as if two different creatures were moving nearby. Some believe these noises could have natural explanations, while others remain deeply unsettled. So, if it wasn't known wildlife what was making those sounds in the dark, an experienced camper went alone into a remote forest in Indonesia, hoping for a quiet night of solitude. As darkness settled, strange wailing sounds began echoing through the trees.
Siapa kamu? Hei. Siapa kamu? Halo. Masih seperti ada yang minta tolong teman-teman, kayak nangis. Itu tadi tangan siapa teman-teman. La ilaha illallah, jelas sekali. Seperti cakar. Subhanallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Apa itu? Tikus ya? Kamu jangan meneror aku ya. Apa ya teman-teman? Itunya jatuh. Seperti bunyi itu kesenggol tikus ya. Jangan-jangan kesenggol tikus ya. Astagfirullahaladzim, kedengeran ada yang nangis. Siapa itu? Hei, kedengeran gak teman-teman? La ilaha illallah. Seperti dari depan sini teman-teman. Kok seperti ada sesuatu sih, apa ya? Perasaan aku aja apa kali ya? Seperti ada yang aneh loh teman-teman. Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah. Gimana kamu?
At first dismissed as animals or the wind, but the noises grew louder and more unsettling, shifting into a heavy dragging sound that made him step out of his tent to check the surroundings, only to find the forest completely empty. Later in the night, he claimed to see a translucent female figure hovering above his tent, gently swaying in the darkness. Frozen with fear, he rushed outside, yet once again found no sign of anything there. With no clear explanation and the unease still lingering, he packed up and left at first light. So was this a trick of exhaustion and fear in the jungle, or something far more difficult to explain watching him from the trees?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.